What's up, YouTube? So here's another update video. It's been about, I don't know, 2 weeks since the last update. I've had a lot going on. I wanted to do a video last week, but didn't get to it, obviously. Anyways, figured while everything's looking really good tonight, I'd give you an update. So, let's see. Today's Saturday. We just did the Trinity Farmers Market for the first time. That market was pretty good. There wasn't too much advertising, so not many people knew I was going to be there, and it's not necessarily a market that's known for farmers. I don't even know how many vendors there are. I'd probably guess and say like 60 vendors, but I'm like the only farmer, so it's kind of interesting. Hopefully, ideally we'd get more farmers out there, and I will though, and actually make it a real farmers market, but watch out. But for now it's just me, and that's fine with me, I guess. But we need to get the customers realizing that they can come out there and buy produce, because there wasn't a lot of people ready to buy produce when I showed up. So yeah, I mean, whatever, it is what it is. Sold a lot of plants, sold an okay amount of produce. I think next month it'll be better. It is a once a month market, so that really sucks, especially for a producer, because you can't really plan for a once a month market, and people like to buy produce more than once a month. So but other than that, I was happy with it. Tasty Tuesdays market, that's been doing really good. Let's see, it's been 3 weeks. I think it's been 3 weeks since I've been back to that market after the big freeze took out a whole bunch of stuff. Stuff's growing really well, so as long as there's not another crazy freeze that takes out everything again, I think I'll be at that market for at least, I don't know, 4 more months. Well, it's whatever, yeah, a few more months. Till it gets too crazy hot, and then I've just got peppers and sweet potatoes and some tomatoes hanging on in the summer, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. But here's an update on the garden. I'll do the standard bed by bed thing as I always do, so hope you enjoy it. Alright, hopefully the wind isn't too bad, and hopefully the neighbor's nutty dogs aren't too loud and the microphone doesn't pick up all that stuff. But working with what I got. Anyways, the lettuce in front of the garden, I honestly really love how it looks. I'd love it even more if the garden was like consistent. But I had a rabbit or a squirrel, I'm shining right in the light. I had a rabbit or a squirrel eat that entire half of the garden as far as the fence line goes. So all of that is like, looks like it's 3 weeks behind, but the rest of it is all pretty, well, fairly, give or take like 10 heads right there, is fairly consistent. This is the green one, which I really love, is Tropicana. That's a great lettuce for here. It rocks it. The red one is what is that? It's like a wavy Lola Rosa, Lola Rosa, dark red or something or other, whatever. Another good variety, but it's super slow growing. I don't know why. It's like, maybe it's just a smaller head of lettuce. This is the first time I've grown this particular one, but I mean, here's my hand, and it's not really gonna pick up that color, but it's super dark. Beautiful looking lettuce, nice green center, but small compared to this guy. And this is not even the bigger one. I harvested a few big ones for market today, but it's a great head of lettuce. Anyways, enough about those guys. Parsley, the curly leaf parsley, That's doing really good. Finally filling out. It's been in the ground forever. Parsley is just one of those really slow growing herbs. But we'll see how that does through the summer. I love growing parsley through the summer, especially in Washington, because you literally have parsley for like 9 months of the year. The next 3 months it's literally just growing from a seed, and it takes forever. So if you time it right, you'll always have parsley. But so yeah, hopefully that really extends itself. We'll see how long it lasts. This was all Salanova. Cropped most of this bed out, probably, I don't know, yeah, literally the most of it yesterday or the day before, something like that. But there was just a little bit down there that regrew, so I left that, harvested that last night for today's market at Trinity. So that'll get cropped out tomorrow and replanted. This is all arugula. Haven't even cut that yet. I have another bed in the Centropic area that was doing really good, so took that out first, or harvested that first. The Mizuna's doing really good. Both of these beds are ready to start getting harvested, so I'll probably jump in these guys tomorrow for the Tasty Tuesday market. Both beds of Salanova. These guys went through the freeze. That one got the tea, that one didn't. This one was planted a week and a half prior to this one. They're exactly the same size. They look great. Let's see what else. We got radishes in this bed, direct seeded radishes, and then I went through and interplanted, what did I do there? Swiss chard. So I did 3 rows and I kind of staggered them. So there's 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way down. Spacing out the Swiss chard quite a bit more just to see how it does. The last bed of Swiss chard that was over here somewhere before the freeze was 3 rows every, I want to say I did 10 inches. Don't quote me. But it was an early planting. There's a whole bunch of variables that could have played into why it just didn't thrive, but we're gonna see if spacing makes a difference with these. While I'm right here, got a bunch of nice tomatoes, a whole bunch of different varieties. They were in the greenhouse for a while, and then I like to put them outside so they can harden off in the breeze and in the stronger direct sunlight. But I will pop these out and probably pot them up into 3-inch pots and plant them out in 3 weeks. I'll probably pot them up probably on Wednesday, and then give them another 2.5, 3 weeks before I put them in the garden, just in case we get a crazy frost. I can just move all the flats into a greenhouse. Anyways, a bunch of different lettuces, some bunching onion, different Asian greens, some more lettuces, Salanova. What do I got over there? Replacement collards. Collards are doing good right now. More Swiss chard. What do we got? Cauliflower. Kohlrabi. This lettuce is all going to get transplanted out. Not tomorrow, but probably again Wednesday. These are my trays that look good still, but I don't really need to plant them. But I also don't want to get rid of them, so they're kind of just staying. Bunching onion can actually sit in a tray. It looks like crap for the longest time, but as soon as it hits the ground, it takes off. So you can kind of sit on them a little longer than ideal, but yeah, we're gonna ignore those now. Like I said, the Swiss chard and radish bed is doing good. This is all, what is that? White Russian kale. I did 2 rows instead of 1, like the previous kale plantings. I had 1 down the center and then cropped 1 row of something on either side of it. I might go and put a strip of lettuce down the middle of that, just to fill in and use the space while the kale's getting established. But I'm gonna see how that does. This bed had lacinato kale going down the center of it. That's why the spacing is so much wider before the freeze, but this is all spinach. That's doing really good. This is another direct seeded radish bed, but you can see there's some rows going down it. That's interplanted with romaine. And I've harvested a bunch of radishes out of this half of the bed. The back half hasn't been touched, so I'll go through and thin the big guys out of that section for the Tasty Tuesday market this week, and then the following week the rest of the radishes down here, and then back there the next week. Lettuce, this had white Russian kale going down the center, but now it has what is that, Napa cabbage. Those are doing really good. We'll get to a bed further down that way that has Salanova and Napa cabbage in it, but you can see how I interplanted that one and the growth difference between these guys, which have only been in the ground for about a week or so, compared to the ones down there. What did we have here? Bunching onion and lettuce. These two beds have been bunching onion and lettuce since the beginning. I've just cropped out the lettuce a few times and planted new lettuce, and yeah, that's all doing really good. All these lettuces actually made it through the freeze. They were pretty young, so they did pull through. Some of them bolted like I expected, but most of them held in there. There is one red one, I don't know if you can see it down there, it's bolting. Need to grab that one because it's not one that I want to save seed from. But I am going to save seed from several of these, so like I said, hopefully we don't get another crazy freeze and they pull through again. This is 4 different types of mustard greens. I planted them wider. Normally I do 6 rows in a bed of them, 5 or 6 rows, but I want to harvest baby greens for as long as I can and then thin them to allow the plants to mature, and then get like bunched mustard greens, like larger leaves. Carrots, they're growing good. This is what is this? Lil Ren Pak Choi. And then what did I do? Tatsoi on the sides, purple tatsoi. I think it's red cloud, purple tatsoi. Hakurei turnips, they're coming up good. This was the bed that I planted in, or at least had a clip of me planting in my Biological Compost Tea video, which, by the way, if you guys are interested, you can order through the link below. You'll get a compost tea bag, and it'll be full of my compost tea blend, and you can brew it. I've got directions, it's all typed up, and once you order it, if you have questions, you can always ask me, email me, whatever, and we can work that out. But it's super simple, and your garden will do great after it. Anyways, that's the Salanova that was planted in that video. It's doing great. Same with the bunching onion. That's not bunching onion, that's a specialty onion that you can plant in clumps, and they get about golf ball size. They're really sweet, really good. Watch out, Willow. Move. Keep going. This spinach bed's doing okay. I'll probably harvest a bunch for market tomorrow. Might get another 2 weeks out of it, and then I might just crop it out and put something else there. I'm getting kind of tired of that bed, honestly. Direct seeded beets, doing okay. I've had terrible germination with direct seeded beets here. I think next year what I'm going to do is start using a strip of silage tarp with the white side up to get better germination. Hopefully that helps, but I really don't know what the deal is with them. Let's see. This is purple pak choi with radishes direct seeded. That's doing really good. This, by the way, is south facing, so some of the plants like to grow at somewhat of an angle towards the south, because on this side we've got a bamboo hedge and then a big oak tree, so it doesn't really get much light at all on this side. So yeah, everything just kind of goes to an angle, so it's a little harder to see from this side of the garden, at least on the camera. Collard greens, they recovered really well from the freeze. Took them quite a while, but here it's been like 5 or 6 weeks since the freeze, and I just got my first decent harvest for market out of that. Oh, skipped a bed. That's all spinach. And then I've got a neighbor riding on a golf cart. And then bulb fennel, that recovered really well. I had this stuff pruned down to nothing. Like, it literally had, let's see if we can get in here. It literally had, each bulb had one fern sticking out. I had cut all the other leaves off because they literally just turned brown and melted from the freeze. And then all of this is all new growth in the last few weeks, and the bulbs are filling out, getting nice and plump. They are smaller because they don't have all those old leaves left, but they'll keep growing, they'll keep filling out, and I'll keep selling them because they're doing good. These are those bunching onions I've mentioned in the last video, I think. But all of this got destroyed in the freeze when all of the fennel sorry, I almost dropped the camera. When all the fennel residue melted and kind of crushed them. So I cut them right at ground level with a knife, and this is all regrowth from 4 weeks, because I waited a while to cut the fennel. So yeah, that fennel growth, I guess, is about 4 weeks. Waited about a week after the freeze. And then this is 4 weeks worth of regrowth on bunching onion. So when I started noticing this is how I'm going to start just harvesting my bunching onion to get 2 crops at least out of each planting. So it normally takes like 2 cells, transplants, or whatever you want to call them, to equal one of my bunches. Stop. And so I'll just cut them to the ground, cut that one to the ground, bunch it, good to go. And if I can get 2 harvests out of 1 planting, that would be amazing. I've only had 1 person out of, let's see, probably 30 that have bought bunching onion in the last couple of weeks of me offering that. And everybody else doesn't mind the fact that they're cut that way. The one person was just asked, "Oh, why do you cut the roots off?" And I explained it, and he was like, "Oh, okay." So I think it's a great idea, and I think it's going to work. This bed of carrots going to start getting harvested for market tomorrow. The bed that was here, I think it's what was the name? Adelaide or whatever. Those carrots did really good, but they got really fragile tops, and the tops are super short. They look decent in a booth. I like them. Super sweet carrot, but I'm not too sure I like the strength of the top when it comes to pulling them. Anyways, just have a tiny bit of them left to pull tomorrow for market, and then this bed will get planted Wednesday. This is Tokyo Bacana. It's an Asian green. Some people like to use the greens in salads. Some people will stir fry them, I guess. They've got kind of a thicker stem, so it's kind of like a cross between a Napa cabbage and a pak choi and lettuce. It's the weirdest thing. Super tender leaf, and when it's mature or like filled out more, it's like the brightest green. Camera's probably not picking it up too well, but it almost looks like it glows in the dark. It's amazing stuff. But I don't grow this out to sell as a green. I grow it out and let it go to flower, and I harvest the buds, the flower heads, just like you would broccoli or rapini or broccolini, and bunch that up, and that stuff is so sweet and it sells really well, and I love it. And again, interplanted with radishes to fill up the space. Talked about that bed. This is carrots that are germinating. They're doing good. This is that Salanova bed with interplanted Napa cabbages, like I told you about when we were down at the other bed. This has 2 rows of Napa interplanted in a full bed of Salanova. And the Salanova, their roots actually inhibit some weeds and other plants from taking over and thriving. So all of these, including these, I cropped out the lettuce 2 days ago, are so much further behind than the ones that are just planted in 1 row in between the 2 outer rows of Salanova. So it's just a interplanting experiment that I'm seeing how it works with these 2 crops, and I don't know. Planted them the same day. These are set back. By the looks of it, it looks like 2 weeks, and that may just act as a succession planting. Come harvest time, but we'll see. These might even catch up, who knows. So we'll keep you posted on that. This is a bed of carrots. I went crazy and seeded, I don't even know, let's count them real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, 11 rows. Should be 12. No, it's 11. Rows of carrots. We'll see how they do. They're spaced really well. This is from the same seed that was 2 or 3 years old that I planted early on in the season that had terrible germination. But I had a massive pack of it, and I planted the entire pack, and I was like, oh, if I get 30% germination, it'll be enough to make this bed worth it. But I probably got, I don't even know, I bet I got 75 to 80% germination. So I'm happy with it, and they're spaced enough that I think even with 11 rows in this bed, it'll work, and they'll get nice and big like the last ones did. Sorry, trying not to trip over the fence. Spinach, doing good. I've harvested a ton out of that in the last couple of weeks for market. And the cilantro row, this is just one row planted months ago. I don't even remember. I have to look at my notes, but I've harvested so much cilantro out of this, and it's continuously growing. I've got a couple that are going to seed. I'll just cut the seed heads out, and they'll put out a few more spurts of leaf growth, and yeah, keep selling it. Bunching onion on the side is doing good. Haven't harvested this one, or this half of the bed, but like I said, over in that fennel section, I just cut them to the ground and they regrow, and it's pretty amazing. So this was harvested a week prior to those ones, and they're like 4 or 5 inches taller, and they look great. Now I'm going to take you into the Centropic system and show you the update over here. Alright, so these beds are doing okay. This Hawkeye turnip bed, Hawkeye turnip, sorry, I almost thought it was the arugula bed for a second. It's doing really good. It had a slow start, but honestly I think because I don't have the irrigation on a timer over here, I think it was drying out too much and I wasn't catching it. It's got like 4 inches of horse manure and then like 2 or 3 inches of compost on top, and at least lately I've noticed that it does dry out a little quick, so I think that's why everything was growing so slow, and it was a little harder for it to get established. But put a big batch of my tea down on this whole system, Centropic system area, and that helped, but then irrigating a crap load out of it consistently helped even more. So I'm just waiting on the batteries to show up to fix the irrigation timer. But anyways, Hawkeye turnips are doing good. Salanova and romaine. This bed I've dealt with freaking squirrels and a rabbit forever, and it's growing back. They haven't touched it in the last 3 weeks, but it's set back so much. Like, all of this should have been harvested already. That's just some extra bunching onion that I threw in there. Same thing with the squirrels and rabbits. Hopefully this wind isn't too bad. They just destroyed that entire bed of spinach. That's looked like that for months, probably 2 months now. This is all bulb fennel. Just transplanted that out the other day. This is the half Mizuna. So from here down is Mizuna, and from there back, which is the same distance, believe it or not, is arugula, and harvested that section for last week, this section for this week. In another week that'll be ready to harvest again. and then obviously this side in 2 more weeks. And then same thing with the arugula bed. Probably can't see it from way back here, but yeah, whatever. Same thing with the Mizuna. This is all transplanted daikon radish. Well, halfway is daikon radish, and the back half is a red meat radish, like a watermelon radish. And then this is a 75-foot bed of Salanova. So more salad mix lettuce. This actually, you could see it on the camera the other day, because I tried to get a clip. But anyways, a squirrel 2 nights ago came through and just munched the centers out of every one of these transplants, and it made me almost go nuts. And then last night I may have taken my shotgun around and taken out a few squirrels, like 10 or so. They're gonna get turned into dog food, but yeah, I'm getting tired of them. They've eaten so many crops, including jaboticabas in a greenhouse. But moving on, this is another, what is this, Mizuna and arugula bed, but just direct seeded that 2 days ago or something. And then these are the last 4 beds, these 2 and these 2 that need to be planted. And other than those 4, I've got the main garden way over there that's completely maxed out. Most of this garden is maxed out, 2/3 of it is, and then the entrance garden, which I'll take you to in a second, is maxed out and doing really good. So I've almost got the whole place planted. It would have been all planted before Christmas, but a whole bunch of stuff happened, including a big freeze that killed most of my stuff. So I'm catching up. Anyways, I'm going to take you to the entrance garden now. Alright, here's the entrance before the neighbor's crazy dogs find me. Let's see if we can tiptoe around here without them knowing. What do we have here? Lettuce, some Troutback speckled romaine lettuce. This is a seed I saved in Washington. It's doing good. This is bok choy planted the other day. Some more lettuce, some purple tatsoi, some broccoli. These got mowed down by squirrels until I mowed the squirrels down. More tatsoi. More, what's this? This one's, yeah, this is more bok choy. Sorry. Bok choy. 2 rows of lacinato kale. No. White Russian kale. More bok choy. Celery. Celery's doing really good, filling out really well. Dill. Dill is selling really well at market. I'm like pretty impressed with how much people are liking the dill. But I'm just cutting that and letting it regrow. Cut all that for this week. I had Napa cabbages on the side. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. Early on after this garden was planted, some stuff just burned. I think it was because there's too much ammonia from the horse manure at the time, but that's since washed out. This is that Tokyo Bacana I was talking about. Once it fills out, it just looks amazing. I really don't think the camera's picking up how much this stuff just glows, but we'll see. Anyways, I love that plant. It really just stands out. Let's see if I can zoom out. Yeah, compared to all the other greens on either side, this stuff is just like neon. It's amazing. Another Napa and dill bed. This is bulb fennel with bok choy interplanted, just to see how it does. I had a bunch of extras. I don't even think this whole bed has bok choy interplanted, but it's in there. Again, we'll just see how it does. This is arugula. This is a different variety than most of my beds of arugula. This one has a really nice, see if it'll focus. This one has a really nice leaf. I like this compared to just the simple smooth edged leaf. It's cool. Anyways, tastes good, smells good. It's arugula. This is mustard. Let's see, 6 rows of mustard. This stuff just like grows so much, it's crazy. So it's hard to get it as a baby green, but even at leaves, let's see if I can pick one, even at leaves that are this big in a bag, people really love it. Like, I've honestly sold more of it at this size, bagged up in a half-pound bag, than I had as little tiny baby greens, which would be like something like this. So yeah, that's doing good. But in another probably 2 weeks, maybe 3, depending on how it grows back, all of this will be cropped out. Some broccoli. This is all broccoli too, planted a little later than that. That was extra from another bed. Let's zoom back in. This is Rogue Dehyver lettuce. It's a romaine. It's a red and greenish romaine. More of a loose head, super tender romaine leaf, but really great flavor, and it's doing really good, and I love the look of it. Just the color of these plants looks amazing. The dark red centers, I love them. So I'm gonna save a bunch from the best heads of these varieties, or of this variety, in this bed. Then we got some Salanova and some what is that? That's another one of my favorite lettuce varieties. That one is Yugoslavian red butterhead, another great variety. Saved seed from that for years. And then this little weird triangle part of the garden, that's more broccoli. But if you'll notice, this section of the Salanova planted the same day. None of this has been harvested. Same with this section of the broccoli, that broccoli. I haven't harvested from about here back at all yet, and that is obviously twice the size of this. And same with the arugula and the fennel and the Tokyo Bacana and the celery and all the rest of the beds. This entire strip all along this fence was where I had the trellis that had the cowpeas, and they're a nitrogen fixer. The rest of the garden was strictly sweet potatoes. So just the results of having a nitrogen fixer here, even though I put a ton of compost and a ton of manure down, it makes such a big difference. So I'm excited to cover crop all of the gardens this summer with quite a few nitrogen fixers, different varieties. Oh, real quick, sugar snap peas replanted on the fence. But anyways, I'm excited to plant like a bunch of nitrogen fixers, beans and peas and all kinds of stuff in all of the gardens, including the new plots at the new property, which I haven't personally made a video, but Pete's got quite a few videos of. And I'm just excited to see the comparison of this year versus next year. Even though, like, with more time in a garden, like as it ages, it gets better, but I'll be able to tell just how much nitrogen fixers are really going to help. I mean, just look at that. Just the density of the fennel foliage versus the rest of the bed. Pretty amazing. Cool stuff. Anyways, that's this garden. This video is probably getting kind of long. Willow, come over here. Oh, one more thing. Parsley along the fence, doing good. I added a row of radishes, they're doing good too. Anyways, Willow, say bye. Say happy gardening, God bless, and till next time, right? Willow, you see a squirrel? Get it. Get it, Willow, get it. Go get it. Get the squirrel. Get the squirrel before it gets the garden. Come on. Yeah, you don't know what's going on. Alright, happy gardening, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.